Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 212. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing there, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. This week on the show, we'll be talking about Ben Wheatley's latest, High Rise, which is now available on VOD. We're going to be talking about another VOD release, which is Pop Meets Void.
Hey now.
VOD
double dip.
Double dip on the VOD this week, so you can check out both of these.
You don't have to leave your fucking house.
That's right.
You don't have to put pants on.
No, you don't even have to put pants on.
No pants, pantsless.
A pantsless Sunday. Actually, you'll probably be listening to this on Monday. Pantsless Monday. We'll also be talking about some of what we've been watching on the watch list, movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's start things off with a little bit of movie news. So this week, this was probably of interest to you, Kevin. Turner Classic Movies and Criterion announced that they're going to be joining forces and launching a new streaming service called Filmstruck.
Yes.
Now, I would imagine that this has you pretty excited.
It does.
Because it's
going to have plenty of questions as well, though.
Well, they didn't say it in the press release, but in what I gathered from the verbiage and sort of reading between the lines is that they're going to be pulling all their stuff from Hulu. It sounds like they're going to be pulling their stuff from Hulu.
That was my first question. But
because
does that
it says
mean that they're pulling everything from Fandor as well?
I don't know, because it says towards the end of the press release that it's going to be the exclusive outlet for Criterion releases. So to me, that means that they're probably not going to have their collections on those other services anymore.
Yeah.
Which makes sense that they would want everyone to go to their own platform and not the other ones. Sense.
But now, again, does that mean that all Criterion movies are going to be found on there? Or
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a selection. I think it'll be probably a large selection, but I don't think all of them are going to be on there.
Yeah.
Because they probably still have to cut deals with the rights holders of all of those respective movies. And I think that's going to be the tricky part.
I wonder if it's just going to be, what you would normally find on Hulu is just going to be there now.
That would be my guess, and then they'll like periodically update it and add things, and they'll probably remove things too, just like Netflix or any of the other ones. Yeah. Looks like some of the studios that they are going to be partnering with include Janus Films, Flicker Alley, Icarus, Kino, Milestone, Zeitgeist, Warner Brothers, and some of the titles that they already announced that are going to be on there include Seven Samurai, A Hard Day's Night, Room with a View, Blood Simple, My Life is a Dog, Mad Max, The Player, Breaker Morant.
Oh my goodness. It's just another streaming service. I have too many to begin with.
Well, do you watch anything else on Hulu besides Criterion stuff?
Just TV.
TV stuff.
See, that's why can't I just I need someone to just package everything together. Okay? Like, this is out of hand. It's too much. It's overwhelming, really. It's like I'm gonna watch a movie, but I have so many options now that I can't fucking decide what I want to watch because there's way too many things.
Well, no matter what, I mean, you either have to have all of them, or you have to make some sacrifices and eliminate, some things.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to get everything in one shot. Like if you want your TV stuff, pretty much have to have Hulu. If you want all those Netflix original shows and whatnot, gotta have the Netflix. Fandor's a little bit of a mishmash because not only does it have a lot of really obscure indie stuff, but they do have exclusive releases on there too. Like there's some movies that are coming out just on Fandor.
Yep.
So that's spot too. I don't know.
It seems like they're getting into that more and more now. Picking up stuff.
I've noticed that. So I don't know. I am anxious to see what this Filmstruck thing's all about. I don't know how much it's going to cost. They didn't release a price, I would imagine that it's going to be somewhere within the $9 a month range.
You would imagine they would come in at that price point.
It's going to be completely ad-free, so no ads anywhere on there.
That's nice.
No, they don't do that with Hulu, right? Like with the movies. Because I know with the shows, they put the freaking ads in the shows, even if you're a Hulu Plus member.
Some of the movies, they do it.
Ugh, that's the worst.
Yeah, and the worst part of it is a lot of times it's just the same commercial.
Oh, I know that. Well, that's why I got rid of Hulu. That's why that's why I no longer have Hulu.
And even when you're like, this commercial does not pertain to me, next time it comes, this same fucking commercial.
It drove me crazy. I couldn't handle it. I ended up dropping my Hulu account because I would try to binge watch a show and it would be the same commercial.
Yeah. It's like Korean Airlines.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the most bizarre commercial.
Mine was always Visit Connecticut. That was always mine. I think I mentioned that before on the show. So yeah, filmstruck.com. Check it out. I don't know when it's going to be launching. I don't think that they have an exact release date for the launch. But it is going to be, what did I read? Fall 2016. So it's going to be this year.
Okay.
So yeah, check that out. Netflix announced that Wet Hot American Summer is coming back.
Oh boy.
Yep, they're going to be doing a Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later.
What?
So if you remember at the end of the original film, they talked about meeting up at the camp 10 years down the line. They're going to do it.
Oh, shit.
Pretty excited about that because I actually liked the prequel, The First Day of Camp, quite a bit.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't really think that they were going to be able to pull it off. And I still think that the original movie is funnier, but...
Well, yeah, I think it's always going to be, too.
Yeah. But still, it's going to be coming out next year, so 2017. There's really no news as far as if everybody from the cast is coming back or what's going on with that. So we'll have to wait and see. I would imagine that everybody's going to come back as long as, their schedules allow it. But I know that also they had to do some creative filming in order to get everybody in with the last one too. Like I remember for the last couple episodes, Bradley Cooper's character wore a ski mask, and it was clearly not him because he didn't talk at all, and it was just weird. But yeah, so we'll see about that. They announced the next Lara Croft is going to be played by Alicia Vikander. So they're rebooting Tomb Raider, and Alicia Vikander is going to be playing Lara Croft. I'm actually pretty on board with this. So the new Tomb Raider reboot is going to be a much younger Lara Croft. She's going to be right when she's starting out as her career as a Tomb Raider.
Okay. Reading them tombs.
I think it's going to be probably based on the newer games, the two new games that came out over the last couple of years, which were excellent.
Okay.
So I'm totally on board with that. The new games are kind of a much darker, more realistic version of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
So I'm totally on board with her being the next Lara Croft. It's cool. I mean, hopefully it doesn't. I mean, it didn't screw up Angelina Jolie's career or anything, even though the two original Tomb Raider movies were pretty much panned.
Yeah.
I think they did pretty good at the box office, but I don't know, maybe this year and next year are going to be kind of a turnaround for these video game movies with Warcraft and Assassin's Creed.
Now, Assassin's Creed actually looks like that would be pretty decent. I gotta say the Warcraft though. Oof.
I'll go see it, but yeah,
oh my goodness.
I have no expectations for it. It looks way too animated for me.
It looks all different types of awful.
Yeah, I have very low expectations for it, but trailers this week. Got a new trailer for Snowden, which is
I've heard that that's not too good. It's kind of funny. I didn't watch it yet though.
Well, I think one of the things that people will notice right away is that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's doing this kind of Edward Snowden voice. Like he's changing his voice to match Edward Snowden. And it sounds like Edward Snowden, but it at the same time feels like an impression. Like it feels like he's doing an impression.
Mm.
and it's a little jarring, I would say. The movie itself does not look good to me, but I'm not a fan of Oliver Stone in general, so, I'll probably go see it. It's been delayed a number of times, actually. It was supposed to come out at the end of last year, and it got pushed back.
I thought so.
There was even another trailer that came out a while back, but I guess Oliver Stone said he wasn't quite done with it, so pushed it back. Fitz, this is a coming-of-age drama that was very popular at Sundance this year. Pretty excited to check this out. It's about a young girl she's like a boxer, and there's like a dance troupe that practices in the same place where she boxes, and she kind of becomes enamored with them and then eventually joins the team. But this strange thing keeps happening to members of the dance team where they like have these fainting spells. They have fits. Looks interesting.
It does.
Yeah.
Definitely
good trailer
does.
too. The trailer for this one is quite good. Captain Fantastic. This is it's a drama with Viggo Mortensen about he's has like 6 kids and he's raising them in the forest, and he has to his wife passes away. They go back for the funeral, and then his father-in-law says that he's gonna apply for custody or file for custody of the kids. I'm not really interested in this, actually.
Yeah, this looks like one of those straight DVDs.
We also have The Duel, which is a supernatural Western film with Liam Hemsworth and Woody Harrelson, where Liam Hemsworth plays a Texas Ranger who goes undercover to figure out there's these murders that are taking place in this small town, and they think that Woody Harrelson, who plays this preacher character, is behind it. And when Liam Hemsworth gets to the town, he finds out that this guy killed his father 20 years prior. Looks pretty interesting. I'll check it out. It's going to be a VOD thing, so. And finally, South Side with You, which is the Barack Obama, Michelle, I don't know, I can't remember what her maiden name was.
I don't either.
The Obama story, as far as when they were younger and then when they met each other. It's a love story. Not too interested in this one either, actually.
Michelle Robinson.
Michelle Robinson. I don't think I ever knew that, actually.
No, I definitely didn't.
Huh, interesting. Either way, not too interested in that either.
No, doesn't sound that interesting.
No, not really. It looks pretty generic, but it's not the type of movie for me to begin with.
Mm-mm.
Let's jump into our first review. What do you want to start with? Which one?
I need Matt. Matt.
All right, let's start with High Rise. That's the larger profile of the two. So this is directed by Ben Wheatley, who previously did films like Kill List and Sightseers and A Field in England. I have a synopsis here. Life for the residents of a tower block begins to run out of control. This stars Tom Hiddleston, Jeremy Irons, Sienna Miller, Luke Evans, Elizabeth Moss. I think I'll start this off. And I feel like I need to kind of give a disclaimer that I have not read the novel. So this is based on a novel by J.G. Ballard. And this is apparently one of these really, really popular books that is supposedly like an unfilmable book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I should have read the novel before seeing the movie, or at least before doing this review, but obviously I didn't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of a hard movie to discuss too, because it's so out there. This is a really bizarre movie. Basically, at first, it has kind of a Snowpiercer vibe to it, where you have this very defined class system within this high rise, and you just have a feeling that the people on the lower levels are going to start, getting upset about their treatment and stuff like that, and the rich people are on the upper levels, and things are a lot nicer for them up there, and you have this kind of slow descent into chaos and madness. But the way that this film handles it is a lot different, in that it just goes from being fairly normal to being completely batshit crazy, and you have no idea what's going on, and that's just kind of how it goes. And I will say that one thing that the strongest thing for me was the look of this movie. I love that kind of 70s. It was like this a 70s aesthetic, but it was like a 70s kind of future aesthetic where it reminded me of like almost like a Kubrick film, or even like Cronenberg's Shivers, like how that was filmed. And that was definitely the best part to me, is just how everything looked in this movie. I loved it. But the film as a whole, I don't know. I don't know what to, because I don't know if they were going for anything with it, but
well, it's one of those things where it being, the original novel is from 1975. So I imagine when this came out, it was, kind of a fresh idea.
Well, right. And it
was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Look at this. But now, 2016, when you're watching anything, you're just like, oh shit, classism again. Oh my God, it's the same story. Holy shit, where's this gonna end up?
Yeah, I mean,
it was no idea. Oh,
it was a clear statement of Thatcherism, where, I mean, there were even several moments in the movie where they had speeches from Margaret Thatcher, like on TV and stuff. So obviously it was, a statement on that. However, it just gets so crazy that you're just like, why are these people doing this? Why is this happening? It just gets, it's so insane what happens, and bizarre.
Yeah. And I mean, it is a lot like Snowpiercer. You kind of just wonder if Snowpiercer just stole the idea from High Rise.
I don't know. They very well may have.
Took it, laid it flat, and was like, fuck, we'll turn it into a train. And then it was like, we'll just tweak the power source a tiny bit, and then boom, there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's even the exact same down to the ending with the power source, but it's just tweaked just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
which is like kind of interesting, but I don't know. I don't think they really, the payoff and the execution of that payoff, I didn't think was that great.
Yeah. Do you think that power source was there from the beginning, or that they jury rigged that at the end when things got to like this, the whole Mad Max?
That's what I mean. You don't know. That's what I mean.
That was what I took away from it. Like, it wasn't like that from the beginning, but they did that as just a way to kind of squeeze more power out after the shit hit the fan. And
they're starting to kind of take over.
Yeah.
But the other thing that disappoints me is I just really, it really irritates me when movies do this, and High Rise does this, is where it starts out with the final destination, right? Like, it starts out with him, and they're already in the midst of shit got out of control. So you already know the end point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The ending is the beginning. You know where they're going to end up, and then it goes to, cut to 3 months earlier.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, here we go. Let's go back in time, figure out how they got there. And then it just takes forever to get back there. And it's like, we already know. Like, there's no tension. Like, there's gonna be no surprise. I know where we're gonna end up. You already showed me. Like, let's get there. All right? Or at least make it interesting. And then it like montages over like most of the normal parts, and then all of a sudden it's just a Portishead music video for a little bit.
I loved that scene.
I loved it too, but it was just like, now we're just a music video. Like, what is the point of this? What are we doing?
Yeah, that was like probably my favorite scene, the SOS cover.
Yeah.
I loved it. Well, that was the interesting thing about this, was that my favorite parts were everything that happened before it got crazy. Like, I liked the kind of interactions that Tom Hiddleston was having with these people, because so we follow Tom Hiddleston, he plays a doctor, and the interesting thing about him is that he kind of floats in between the upper and the lower class areas. So he's kind of the go-between. And I liked that, how, there was this very clear divide between what was happening between these like societies, and he was kind of stuck in the middle. He was like an observer, and he wasn't trying to get involved in what was happening, but he ends up being in like kind of a really bad place because of it.
Yeah, because he's just kind of almost reluctantly becoming the mediator between the
Right.
two. Just trying to keep things from getting out of control. Which you're right, like and I think that the part of it is the out of control. It's just so familiar. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like,
to me, there wasn't enough of a build up. It was like there was this build up. You could feel the tension rising, but then all of a sudden it was like a light switch where they all just went insane. Like every single character went insane at the same time. And it was just like, what is going? It felt so. It was so jarring to me when you have these kind of aristocratic type people who are very hoity-toity, and all of a sudden they've devolved into these like primal beasts like overnight, and it just didn't feel natural. It didn't feel right to me. Well, I think if there was more of a build up to that.
Well, and that's the weird thing is there's so much build up to it, but it seems at one point they just like Wheatley just doesn't know how to do the build up anymore.
Right, it's like the pacing is off. That's what it is.
Let's just get into the craziness, and of course it just like montages into the craziness too.
Right,
like, all this build up, and then it's just like, oh, let's do like a montage, like everything gets crazy, and then full on anarchy, and there's trash everywhere.
Yeah, and so it's like just garbage. They're living in garbage at that point.
Which is and I know it's really stupid to get kind of hooked up on the logistics of a dystopian novel from 1975, but it's just funny to me that they're still building another high rise.
Oh yeah,
literally like 150 feet away.
Well, yeah.
What's going on over there? It's just like everything's just normal.
Right. Well, I often thought about that. Like, what's happening to the outside world at this point? Like, do people not realize what's going on in this high rise? Like, I was so confused. I was confused about the logistics. Like, is the rest of the world just normal, and the people in this high rise are just completely insane? Like, why don't they just leave?
That's what I was saying. It's like just leave the high rise.
Because it was like they couldn't. It was like they could not leave. They were stuck there.
I also like the fact that they go, because the high rise has so many amenities. There's the gym, there's the pool, the spa. Right. It has its own supermarket. It has all these things. And I love the fact that like they're out of food. Like supermarkets, just there's nothing left except for like a can of paint and some cans of chub. And like that's all that's left, and some cornflakes. But at the same time, it seems like they have this never-ending flow of cigarettes into the high-rise.
Yeah.
Like everyone always had cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, where are they getting their cigarettes from? And
they must have
why can't
giant cartons? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's all part of it, is that the fact that they could leave anytime they wanted and made a conscious decision not to.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe that all just plays into the meaning behind all of this. Because the funny thing is, and I was trying to figure out like why all this was happening, and the only thing I could come up with is there's one line where the upper class people are sitting around, and it's after they had like a big party the night before, and they decide that they're going to party harder than the lower level people. And that's what it all came down to, was that they decided that they're going to out-party the lower class people. And that's what it was. It was just like they were just trying to party harder. And it just gets out of control.
It sure does. I get this feeling that, because I haven't read the novel either, and I imagine that there's some really good ideas examined in Ballard's novel. I don't feel like I got that sense from Wheatley's movie, though. Like, I didn't really see anything that was like, oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean? There's nothing really to investigate or examine.
Right.
Here. Like, he doesn't really posit anything. It doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe it's word for word from the novel. And there's just nothing in the novel, too. I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know. It is a bizarre little movie, that's for sure. I mean, but it looks great. I love everything about the visuals. I was completely on board with,
especially that elevator.
Oh yeah, the mirrored elevator.
It should have just taken place in the elevator.
That's why I liked everything before things went
It
into
was,
chaos because
it was,
everything looked so awesome, and then after everything got destroyed, it was just like garbage city.
yeah. What it did was, it was more interesting too, and it was kind of funny at times too, because they're like just slowly, like when they first come out, and he's like, "Hey, can you give me a ride?" And he's like, "Well, I wish I
Oh
could,
yeah,
but I can't find my car." And he's like,
He's
"Yeah,
like,
me
"Huh."
either." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like it's just starting to happen. It's interesting in that way. But
that's
then once it gets into the, shit hits the fan, everything's out of control and garbage city. Again, like I said, it's kind of familiar. Like, okay, yeah, I've seen this movie before. Okay, we're gonna devolve and we're just gonna beat people up and murder people and rape people. Like, okay,
yeah. That's
gotcha.
that's why that's why in the end I found that that part of it less interesting than I like the idea of Tom Hiddleston coming into this, newly opened high rise and just seeing. I mean, I guess it was newly opened, right? Like,
Yeah,
because the film started with him moving in, but I think everybody was moving in recently, right?
yeah,
But
and this is like the beginning of this utopia of
right,
all the classes living together.
and that was some of the most interesting stuff to me was seeing how it all functioned. Seeing all the different floors and all of the like the supermarket, and I love the look of the supermarket. How everything just looked so colorful yet
Dead.
plain, like
Yeah.
devoid of like anything as far as like logos and stuff like that. And
Yeah, and it was kind of interesting in the fact that where you have him kind of stuck in the middle where the people below him think that he's too good for them, but then the people above him think that he's not good enough for them, and he's kind of stuck in between where he's a bit too far away from the lower class, but he's just as far away from the upper class as well. And him trying to, and
and
they even kind of point out like, oh, he knows his place.
yeah, and I think it was the lower class. I think it was like Luke Evans that wanted him to kind of infiltrate the upper class people and kind of spy on them, or maybe it was the other way around. But one of the groups wanted him to kind of report back on that, and I know that Luke Evans wanted him to try to get him an interview with the architect. Because after Luke Evans goes crazy, he decides to make a documentary about the high rise.
Bit too long in the tooth. Just spends too much time on that tired storyline.
Yeah,
Lost interest, really. They just keep eating dogs. Just keep eating them dogs.
they do eat. They eat a lot of dogs. They definitely do eat a lot of dogs.
Eating them dogs, man.
And paint walls. Like Tom Hiddleston gets this weird obsession with painting his wall, and
Does a terrible job of it too. That doesn't make any sense. He had one can of paint, and
it was
25% of
yeah.
that was on his person. This is all of his fit. Like he painted an eye and his tie and shit.
Yeah, like his whole suit was covered in paint. Like he painted himself, and then he painted all the walls. He
Yeah,
painted the
come on.
boxes.
You can't be painting an entire apartment with one can of paint. Bullshit.
Well, he had that little tester can too, so it was like one and a quarter cans of paint.
Yeah, but most of that tester can had to be on him.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd say so.
He was just spilling that shit left and right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel really conflicted about this movie because I just don't know. It's sort of like how I felt about A Field in England, actually, where it was like visually gorgeous. I love the style, but I just don't know how I feel about it.
Just kind of empty. Kind of empty to me. It seems like it's encroaching on something interesting, narratively speaking, or idea wise, but just it never gets there, and just decides to go on a detour of like, hey, let's just be visually interested instead, and let's have shit get out of control. Bunch of dancing and violence.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you want? Tim Hiddleston's dancing, playing some squash.
Yeah, there's some squash playing in there.
They got a lot of squash action in there, that sport just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
It's like handball.
They're just whacking the ball against the wall.
Yeah.
Looks dangerous as fuck.
All right. Any final thoughts on High Rise?
Looks good.
Yeah, that
And
scene when the dude jumps off the building, it's pretty awesome. The slow mo.
That was pretty decent. I hated the kaleidoscope
Oh yeah,
trifecta stabbing thing. That was just, what the hell was he thinking there?
yeah. I wasn't too into
That
that, but
that didn't work. That's a dud of a climax.
yeah. I
You know what I
liked
mean?
the.
Like,
I did
that's
like
what we want.
the kid with the glasses. I liked
Yeah,
him.
he was far more interesting.
He reminded me of the kid from Moonrise Kingdom.
He did a little bit, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh
All
well.
right. Well, there you have it. That's High Rise. Let's go ahead and give this thing a score. Ooh, this is a toughie. I'm gonna say, oh man, I'll give it a 5.5.
Yeah, I think I'm like a 5.5. Maybe, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go 5.5.
And that's almost purely on visuals alone, and probably the first half, because I was really into the first half.
Yes, yes. Before that shit hit that fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was just the execution of that was didn't grab me. I just wasn't. It really started to lose me after that.
Yeah, it's
Because then it
just,
started to feel really repetitive too.
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's just the same thing over and it's not the same thing that we've seen in how many other different movies.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
High Rise is playing on VOD platforms right now, so you can check it out. Let's talk about our next movie, Pop Meets the Void. This is written and directed by William Cusick. I have a synopsis here. In a hyper-real combination of live action and animation, an unhinged musician preoccupied with self-mythologizing daydreams struggles to release his first album after 15 years of recording songs alone. Kevin, we'll start with you. What'd you think of Pop Meets the Void?
Um, this is another difficult one.
I know. Well,
Um,
and wait till you get to the watch list. I had several difficult ones this week.
it's one of those where it's like equal parts. I really enjoyed it because it was something different, and then equal parts of just not enjoying it whatsoever because it kind of gets repetitive after a little bit. The most interesting thing to me was is you never know exactly what is like the real reality in this film. Like what's the base, and then what are the dreams that
Yeah,
are the
because
offshoots of it, or the
right.
the different realities. Like everything's just equal, or like on an equal plane of I don't know which one is which. Like what's the reality and what's not.
Yeah, so the way that it's structured, it's you have this guy who in the synopsis, he's struggling to make his album and he has these kind of daydreams. So you go into that daydream and you have another character who is like a big time, he made it. Like he's successful and he's famous and all this stuff, but then he has daydreams too, and then you go into those, so it's like dreams within dreams
Yeah.
about these characters who are imagining themselves as other people.
When the other thing is, I couldn't tell because the main character Walter, who's played by the director William Cusick, he changes so much.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, is that him in the other ones?
I think it is.
Because he looks so fucking different.
I know.
And I'm like, is this a different person entirely, or is this just the same guy with a different look?
Yeah, I was having a really hard time with that too, because he does look completely different. Like there's him, and then there's the big time star version of him, and then there's the office version of him.
Yeah, where he's like clean shaven, he's
Yeah.
got short hair, he's got glasses, and then the original version of him is like long hair with a beard. And
Mm-hmm.
then the Made It guy where he kind of does this like, I don't know if it's like a Daft Punk Dead Mouse 5
Yeah.
look where he puts
With that like emo haircut.
yeah, he's got the emo haircut thing going on, which that music is completely different than the music that the bearded guy's doing, and it's just like it's all over the place. And you're trying to piece it together, which
Well, not only that, but there's another one too.
yeah, the guy that he starts working with
There's the guy in the white room, the drummer guy.
he's just having trouble with batteries. He's in a wooden room.
I'm sorry, but if that battery exploded in your face like that, you would have burns.
Well, maybe that's where his skin condition's coming from.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think the visuals were in the beginning. I would say I found them quite interesting.
I didn't like it.
The animations and stuff, they were okay, but they got they were a bit repetitive after a while, weren't they? It was kind of like the same thing where it's just
Yeah.
like little floating, shifting squares and shapes and whatnot, just changing colors. And it's just like it's just that over and over and over again. Like
I thought it was an interesting way. I thought it was an interesting way to present it, but just for me, I didn't really like the animation style. It just
well, after
like
a while,
with
becomes a bit unnecessary, doesn't it?
yeah.
Especially like how the backgrounds and the settings and stuff.
Yeah, like the coffee shop
Yeah,
like scene and stuff. Like when he goes to the coffee shop and it's like they took pictures and like they put the pictures together and then made that as sort of the
yeah.
backdrop.
It's like kind of like a collage of like
Yeah.
snapshots and stuff. Yeah, which is
I mean it's different, but
yeah,
it I don't know, it just didn't really work for me.
no,
And like there were some other scenes too where he puts in like animated flourishes. Like one scene that I'm remembering is like he's on a train and stuff, and it just looks, I don't know, it looks. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like Kung Fury, or like one of those where they
yeah.
use a lot of green screen and
Yeah.
animate over top of the live action.
Just,
But
yeah.
I thought that some of it was funny. My favorite parts were when it was just Walter, when it was just the main guy trying to make his album, and the fact that he didn't have any like style, he had no voice, he had nothing to say, and just people struggling with him, like when he was in the like the recording studio and the producer was just trying to get something out of him and he was just like nothing.
Well, it is kind of funny because he's operating with like no pretenses whatsoever, and he just knows that his music's kind of mediocre,
Yeah.
and he knows that he doesn't really have like anything to say. Like it's not like his lyrics aren't special; they're just words, and he knows that. He just likes the way they sound together, and people are really having a difficult time with that.
Yeah.
And I will say that for the most part, I enjoyed all the music.
I did too, actually. The music is there is a nice variety. Like there's
Yeah,
no like
it's all
there's
over
no
the place.
yeah, there's no specific style to the music, so there's like all different. It kind of encompasses a lot of different genres and stuff, and I liked almost all of the songs that were in there.
Which I think he did all the music with two other guys.
Well, it's impressive.
It is impressive, and
it's good.
that's because of the nature of the film's narrative itself, and then with him doing all the music. To me, I was a bit confused because I'm not sure if he's more about the music or the filmmaking. Because even though I did like the music, at times it is a bit relentless because it's always playing. There's
Yeah.
always music.
Yeah.
Always. And half the time, like 70% of this movie is just like it's like a music video.
It feels like a music video. Yeah.
Where the center stage is the music. Okay. And after a while it gets, even though I like it, but after a while it becomes overwhelming at times.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. There's also another character who's played by Joel Marsh Garland. He's a movie blogger. And I'm not. I mean, I don't really know why
He was there.
he was in there.
I'm not sure either.
I'm not sure what that was all about, but I appreciated his character.
I thought it was funny.
Got a little close to home, but
because it can.
yeah, because I can.
And I mean, there's moments of that where it is kind of funny.
Yeah.
A couple of the roads that they go down, like when that fan's like, oh, you got to do podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that's where like everyone has a podcast. That's what they do now. And then he goes on that podcast.
Yeah, and they just rip him apart.
But they even know too that they're failed musicians just as much as he is.
Yep. I thought that whole scene, the whole podcast scene, was great. I thought it was really fun.
I did, yeah. I had. I wish there was more of that because the two women that play the podcasters, I really like their characters. And
Yeah.
there needed to be more of that.
Well, that was the thing. Like my favorite parts of this film were all of the just everything with him just trying to decide what he wanted to do and promote his music and all of that stuff. It wasn't necessarily, the dream sequences. It wasn't necessarily like the actual performances. It was just him trying to just trying to figure it out, just trying to figure out what's going on in his life. And those were all like my favorite, because I thought that they were like the funniest parts too.
Yeah. The thing that I disliked the most was the little, I don't know if it was the actual reality or if it was the dream where he was, the button down with an office job and a wife and kid and everything. That reality, it was just annoying.
Well, and that actually reminds me of there's a whole other side plot that's happening involving that guy's wife and daughter, and like I guess she's sort of a failed artist as well, and she's trying to, I guess, project that onto her daughter, and she's kind of this, what do they call those moms?
I forget.
Whatever the moms are that try to live vicariously through their children and make them.
Yeah, kind of forcing her to do these videos. Trying to break into the film business or whatever. And it's just, I found that irritating.
Yeah, I didn't think that it added much to the story because the theme was already pretty well planted in at that point. Like we get what this is about, the artistic struggle and all of that.
Yeah, and it's just kind of irritating because he was like, it's all kind of framed as this, like, his wife won't let him like follow his dreams or play his music. Like, her character is just kind of ridiculous. Where it's like, oh, there can only be one artistic person in the family, and she, like, even when she has her interview and she's kind of making fun of him and putting him down, it's just like, give me a break. Come on. Yeah,
that was the other thing, is like they turned it into sort of a documentary too, where they interviewed all of these people that were. So it was almost like at some point he did make it, or at least made it enough to have a documentary made about his life. So they were interviewing the people in his life.
Or someone else is just dreaming about making a documentary.
Yeah, that could all be part of the fantasy as well, I guess.
Someone else's dream we don't even know of.
Yeah.
And then there's just so much going on. And I think at times it's a bit too much. Like, it's extremely ambitious.
Right, it is very ambitious. Yeah.
And for the most part, it's pretty successful. It does a pretty damn good job of, because it's just an overload.
It is. There's a lot going on.
There's just way too much going on, and I think that would have like really helped if they kind of cut a little bit more out and just maybe tightened up the focus a little bit, because
because they even periodically follow Walter's brother too, who's this kind of like a marketing executive guy, I guess.
Yeah, and he comes out of nowhere. He's introduced like almost halfway through the film. And like, damn, now we got another reality.
Yeah,
and, the drummer too. You got that guy going on.
It's a lot to process.
A lot going on, and then it gets dark for a little bit with the drummer guy like blowing his brains out and hanging himself and shit.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, now we're dark.
I didn't particularly like those.
No, I didn't.
Fantasy sequences either in the white room.
I did like one
that felt very music video-esque to me.
Oh, very much so. The one that I did enjoy, I think it might have been like the second to last one or whatever, where there was like the crowd outside his windows and how like the frame and everything were highlighted with white light projected onto it. I like how they did that. I thought that was snazzy. Snazzy look to it. There's
a couple snazzy things in this movie, but yeah, overall I'd say definitely a good effort. I found it entertaining, but maybe just just tighten it up a bit.
Got a lot going on.
A lot going on in this one.
Jam-packed, packed to the gills.
I would say it's worth checking out just because the music's quite good, and it did make me laugh at several points. So
yeah,
I'd say it is worth a look.
I would agree.
All right, cool. Any final thoughts on Pop Meets the Void?
Interestingly enough, I enjoyed it more than High Rise, but at the same time, didn't. If that makes any sense.
Well, I'm actually pretty much on equal ground with the two, so my score for Pop Meets the Void is going to be another 5.5.
I'd say 5.5, 6.
Yeah,
That's where I go.
I mean,
Slasher.
I'm definitely gonna be. I'm coming out of Pop Meets the Void with a more positive outlook than with High Rise. Like, I mean, High Rise didn't crush my opinion of Ben Wheatley. Like, I'll still watch his next movie, but with William Cusick, like, I've never seen anything that he's done before, and now he's on my radar now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested to see what he's going to be doing next.
Well, yeah. I'm with you.
And I may try to seek out some of his, previous short films to see more of him. So, yeah. That's Pop Meets the Void. That's available now on VOD. Looks like you can get it for $3.99 on Amazon. So
it's playing like everywhere. You get on
Well, interestingly, this movie was not. I wasn't even aware of this until he actually emailed us.
I only knew about it because I follow him on Twitter. I was like, I kind of want to see that.
Cool.
I didn't know it was coming out though.
Yeah, I didn't either. Cool. All right, let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching on the watch list.
Oh boy.
Kevin,
Starting
we can start with you.
Okay. I wanted martial arts. Just wanted it bad the other day. So I ended up watching Ip Man from 2008.
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Little Donnie Yen action.
Little Donnie Yen action.
Biopic. Sort of a biopic.
A little bit. There's a shit ton of Ip Mans.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
There's too many, in my opinion.
Yes, there is. There's a bit too many Ip Mans. But I ended up checking out the first one from 2008, Wilson Yip. And I got what I wanted. My martial arts was great. All the fighting sequences, the choreography from Sammo Hung, it's fantastic. They are just unbelievable to watch. Everything that occupies the in-between, between all the fight scenes, is just really bad. Like, it's just bad.
Yeah, it definitely falls into that martial arts, like, trap, where it's like everything in between is just a little sappy. A little cheesy.
And it's almost worse because, I mean, it's okay when you're watching like a Bruce Lee movie and it's just, like the narrative is really simple. Like, hey, they keep fucking up that place that his family owns or his cousin owns or whatever, and he's helping out.
Yeah.
This one, they're trying to get in with his family, but they don't really develop his family at all, his wife and his kid. Donnie Yen has like the same look on his face all the time, no matter what the situation is. Like, I don't know what he's doing acting wise. he just has that look of like, I'm trying to be really nice and happy, no matter what the situation is. It just looks so bizarre. And then and it's trying to encompass so many things of where it starts out with all these places opening up kung fu schools, academies in where he lives, and of course he's the greatest person ever. So they're trying to like legitimize themselves, but they suck, and they get their shit kicked out of them. And then like out of nowhere, there's like an out of towner that comes in, and then all of a sudden it's just because you have that narrative going on, and then all of a sudden it just segues into like the Japanese invade China and take over, and now it's a war movie all of a sudden. It's like, what the fuck happened? Like, it was like a tongue-in-cheek, like, out-of-towners coming in and kicking the shit out of all the schools, and he wants to fight Ip Man. And then all of a sudden, it's a Japanese war movie. It just felt very bizarre, because then all of a sudden, shit got really serious, but they were still trying to, like, go for that sappy, sweet, like, everything's wonderful. And I mean, they mythologize the shit out of him. Because
yeah, they do.
Like, he single-handedly destroys the Japanese army.
Yeah.
Anytime he comes into contact with them. And I kind of like that, because essentially he's fucking Superman. Like, no one even comes close to beating this guy. The only fight is the one at the end where the Japanese general. It's the only one where, like, the Japanese general actually lands like maybe like 4 or 5 hits. Yeah. Everything else is just him destroying. And I love how they do it with ridiculous. Like, he does it with a feather duster. This guy with a feather duster, and then another time it's like a long stick. He kicks the shit out of 2 guys, and it's incredible to watch. I did love it. I loved every minute of him kicking the shit out of everybody.
You should check out Flashpoint. I don't know if that's another Wilson Yip with Donnie Yen. and it's a modern action
Man.
movie,
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
check that out.
it's awesome. It's really good.
I just love every time like a fight would start. I'm just like, God, I love this.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
just
you'll like Flashpoint. There's some like more. There's obviously more gunplay in that one than It Man, but it's still awesome. It's got a lot of
but
great
also
martial
just
arts.
and the way in which they film everything is fantastic. All the fight scenes, I'm saying, not the other stuff.
Right.
Not so
I mean, that's what Wilson. Yep, he's good at that stuff. I think that's kind of his wheelhouse.
because I love how he would, in certain moments, he would slow it down so you
Yeah,
could kind of catch everything that's going on.
he likes to play with like slow mo, and he does like the slow mo and then speed up and stuff like that. I mean, I remember he did that in Bullets Over Summer. Remember Bullets Over Summer?
Oh yeah,
I love that movie. I want to rewatch that actually.
I forgot it. Oh man, Wilson, yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
forgot about him. I really,
Bio Zombie,
yeah,
one
I
of the
really
best
want to see
zombie
that.
movies.
Really want to see that SPL.
Mm-hmm. I have not seen that. Yeah.
Forgot he did do Biozombie and Bullets Over Summer. You gotta be kidding me. Oh
Yeah,
man.
man. Wilson Yip.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
He did Flashpoint too, which you should definitely check out.
I'm definitely gonna check that shit out.
It's really good. It's awesome. All right. I saw Tale of Tales. So this week for me has just been like almost every one of the movies I saw has been either surreal or just bizarre in some way. I'm really like I'm so burnt out on weird movies right now. So I would say I liked this overall. Too long.
Yeah.
Too freaking long. I was just done with it by the end. I was like, all right, this is. I would also say that it was really the casting, like John C. Reilly as the king. I mean, I know he's not in it that much, but
well,
what a bizarre choice.
Well, and what's going on with like? It seems like there's a lot of movies where it's like John C. Reilly's in it, and you're like, okay, cool, and then he's in it for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and you're just like, what? How do you get away with that?
I mean, he hunts a sea monster,
which is awesome.
Cool.
That is such a great sea. Loved it.
Yeah, I gave this a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd on visuals alone because holy crap, this movie looks amazing. I mean, not just like the special effects or the or whatever, just the production design on this, like the castles and the rooms that they're in, like that crazy white room where it's like so ornate, like the walls,
intricate carvings all over the walls.
I mean, the costume design in this is out of control. Just everything about the look, and then I mean, probably the most gorgeous thing is that river or lake or whatever that stream that's like nestled in the rocks there, where he goes to hunt the sea monster.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking gorgeous.
I know.
With that, like, I don't know what kind of rocks, of shale or
it's
whatever.
It's incredible to be like, big budget movie like this. We don't really get that nowadays anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is an absolutely gorgeous movie. It's just no doubt about that.
Big budget movie that's dealing with John C. Reilly fighting a sea monster and an oversized flea.
Yeah, Toby Jones with his pet flea. Maybe I don't know. I guess it's interesting how they incorporate the like 3 stories and how they kind of connect them up, very very loosely connected. But I thought it was okay. It was interesting enough.
There's a lot of great moments in it, but there's also just a lot of nothing going on. Like you said, it's just too long.
Yeah, they definitely need to trim it down a bit. I wasn't the story with Vincent Cassel and the 2 sisters. I just wasn't that into that one because I knew where it was going. Because obviously it's like 2 very young people wearing old people makeup, so I knew that something's gonna happen here where they're gonna turn young.
Yeah,
but overall, it's worth a look for sure, just on visuals alone, and I hope that it does get some awards consideration because, yeah.
Fun one.
Yeah. Telltales.
I have bizarre one that I watched, but for different reasons. I watched Sisters, the Amy Poehler, Tina Fey one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it
Was it meh?
was a meh. I didn't know that it's like I didn't know what the story was. I just knew that they played sisters, right?
Yeah.
And I get the Netflix DVD, and of course, the main plot of the whole thing is they go back to their childhood home because their parents are selling the house, and they decide to throw one last high school party with all their former classmates. Like, to just have a banger, man. Just be young and carefree again, which is like I'm not interested in that at all. I thought they were just going to be quirky sisters, goofing
Living it
off.
up.
Yeah, goofing off and making jokes. I didn't know it was going to be a party movie. Ugh. And the party aspect of it is just terrible. It's so awful. And then it just evolves into like Amy Poehler's love interest, because she's recently divorced. And her love interest falls on a ballerina, a little music box, and goes up his butt. So that's
Yeah, I saw it in the trailer.
yeah, that's a whole thing. I didn't know that was. It's just like, oh Jesus.
This is the guy from
Yeah.
TV.
I mean, there's some funny moments here and there, with because they're good with throwaway lines and stuff like that. But it just all of a sudden it goes down that road, and it just becomes one of those movies where everything's just lazy, and the house starts getting wrecked, and it's just after a while it just all becomes unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not what I thought it was going to be. I guess I should read things sometimes.
I saw kind of an experimental documentary called Heart of a Dog, directed by Laurie Anderson.
I want to see this.
Yeah, I was really excited to see this. I've been wanting to see this for a while, and it's actually available on HBO Go right now, so you can check it out there. I liked this quite a bit. I mean, it's a little rough around the edges. Some of the visuals look really good, and some of them look really bad. One thing that I don't like in movies and some TV shows do this too is like the kind of false slow motion that gets used where they just lower the frame rate, so instead of looking like things are moving slowly, it looks like things are just being choppy. And I don't know how to describe it other than that, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And that she does that in this, and then sometimes she does this really awkward freeze frame stuff where like it'll be a video playing and then it'll freeze and then it'll zoom in and it just looks so like a lot of this movie looks very amateurish. It just looks really amateurish. But that being said, the kind of like lyrical nature of this movie is really what held my attention. It's just about her kind of eulogizing her dog who passed away, and she kind of juxtaposes that with these ruminations on 9/11 and government surveillance and stuff like that. And it sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's just basically her giving her thoughts on life and death and the society in general, and it's just really interesting. It's all done through voiceover, so I don't know if that's going to be a turnoff for you, Kevin, but I mean it's all voiceover. It's essentially her reading.
That'll be okay. I don't like voiceover in narrative things.
Right? Yeah. This is definitely different. Yeah, it's definitely different. But it's very, very experimental. I mean, a lot of there's like some archival type footage, or like home movie footage, like still imagery, and then she kind of overlays things on top of that, and then she kind of messes around with photos and kind of makes them look like they're moving, and it's just a lot of random images and random colors and saturation and things that are happening. A lot of the stuff, like she photoshops some of the photos and stuff, and it looks terrible because she just uses like the stock Photoshop filters that look bad, like the charcoal one. Is it charcoal or sketch? I think it's the sketch one.
Yeah.
Where it like turns everything kind of black and white, but also like with it's just like black lines that make up the photo. It just doesn't look great. But overall, I did like it quite a bit, and it's a really interesting watch. It's pretty short. It's only 75 minutes, which that was just the right length. Anything longer than that, I was probably going to get tired of it. But it did manage to hold my attention, and it was really interesting to hear her thoughts on life. It's a very poetic movie. So yeah, I would recommend checking it out. Heart of a Dog.
I really want to see that one. I watched one. It's up on there over at the No Budge right now. A little 17-minute short film called Shelly, directed by Lauren Rothery, and it's kind of like this mix of 35 millimeter Super 8 VHS, a little bit of everything going on here, and it's just it's about this girl she's working on her own film, right? And she's kind of making this it's like a documentary hybrid type thing where she's making a movie about a seahorse. And then she also she's hired, or I don't know if she's hired them or if they're just doing this or whatever, but there's a 2-man documentary crew that are making a film about her, making her own movie. And her movie, of course, is about the seahorse, but it's kind of getting into love and how seahorses are monogamous and all these things. And it's really, really interesting what she does with it. Like out of nowhere, there's just turns into the surreal where it just comes out of nowhere. The way that she blends all the various film formats together looks fantastic. The way in which the main character Shelly she becomes, in a sense, the seahorse that she's making the movie about, talking about love and everything, and then she kind of gets trapped into it with her co-worker and the people that are doing the documentary of her. It's different. It's quite good.
Cool. And that's I'm assuming available for free on No Budge right now.
Oh, free. You can just fucking go right there now.
Cool. And that's called Shelly?
Shelly.
Cool. I saw Lemonade. This is the Beyonce film.
I want to see this. How's everyone seeing this?
So it was available on HBO for like 2 days, and then they took it down.
Yes.
You can, as far as I know, you can still get it on iTunes, I think, and then there's also whatever that streaming service is that Jay-Z owns. You can get it on there, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why HBO took it down. I guess maybe it was just like an agreement that they had with her. I don't know. But it's not there anymore. So, fortunately, I was able to see it the day after it came out. So anyway, this was a surprise. The reason that I was interested in it is because the night that it came out, I was like, whatever. I did see their last HBO thing that they did. What's it called? On the Run, the one that she did with Jay-Z, and that was really good. But I don't particularly like Beyonce's music, so I wasn't that interested.
Yeah.
However, the day after it came out, everybody was talking about how amazing it was, so I was like, all right, I got to check this out. And it's pretty damn good. Like, I was really, really surprised. I mean, there's a surprising number of really, really talented directors and cinematographers that were involved with this project, but it is like a visual smorgasbord. It's like some of the segments and some of the things in this look amazing. Like, I was blown away by this.
Yeah, that's kind of, I've heard so many good things, and of course I saw some screenshots here and there. It's like, damn, it's amazing,
pretty incredible. Because
I remember her. I forget what that song is. That one that she did the video for, and it caused an uproar with her, laying on top of that cop car as it went down into the water. I forget what that song was called, but that video was fantastic. It was unbelievable. Yeah. And then I learned that Kalika Law is like one of the cinematographers.
Yeah, he was one of the cinematographers.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you serious?
Jonas Åkerlund was one of the directors, and I like most of his videos that he does as well. Mark Romanek also did. He was also one of the directors.
What?
A lot of really talented people involved in this. So yeah, I would say check it out. It's very. there's an essay that came out this week that compares the influences that the directors and cinematographers had while making this with filmmakers, and they draw comparisons. They do side by side comparisons between Lemonade and various works of David Lynch, Terrence Malick, and then there's like several other kind of more obscure directors that they compare. That it's really interesting. A lot of the influence comes from, and this is terrible because I can't remember, but it was the first African American female director that had a film released nationwide. And
Daughters of the Dust.
Daughters of the Dust. It was
Julie Dash.
Yeah.
Which is the great thing about that, because I've heard about this movie for so long and I've been dying to see it. And just recently it got picked up by...
Yeah, it's getting re-released.
Yeah, I forget what company's doing it. And I'm, that's one of the... It probably came out of this because that's what everyone was talking about when Lemonade came out, which, thank goodness, finally, we get to see this.
I would say there's some things, I mean, like between the songs and stuff, it's all, there's like this poetic voiceover that's done by Beyonce. So, I mean, the Malick influence is super heavy. I mean, if you came and said, hey, here's this new Beyonce film, it's directed by Terrence Malick, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I can totally see it. Like,
yeah, but I would imagine that her poetry's much better than his.
Oh no, it makes sense. Like, yes, it is very it's not as abstract and like random bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it all makes thematic sense too. Like that's
strung together old white man existential bullshit.
Right. And that's kind of the interesting thing about Lemonade is that it has a very good flow to it. Like, it is an album. I mean, it's a visual album, but all of the songs fit together and it makes like kind of a cohesive story and narrative. And like you can easily see like, okay, this is transitioning into that. And even though a lot of the videos look very different from each other, they all kind of bleed together in a very, very cohesive way. And I would say definitely check it out. I imagine it'll be available again in the near future, but it is totally worth seeing.
Yes.
I was really surprised.
I can't wait to see this.
It pretty much blew me away. I was just like, holy shit, this looks incredible.
I love that this has become like my most anticipated movie of 2016. I just want to see Lemonade. I want to see it so bad.
Yeah, I won't talk about it anymore. I'll let you see it and experience it. But
all right, that's all I got.
All right, I just have one more, and that's Special Correspondents. This is a Netflix movie that came out this week. Ricky Gervais. Oh boy.
This
is starring and directed by Ricky Gervais, and it also stars Eric Bana and Vera Farmiga and Kelly MacDonald. It is terrible. It is absolutely awful. I don't know what was going on with this, but it is not funny in the slightest bit. It's just, so the premise is that Eric Bana plays this radio newscaster guy. He's a reporter. He's kind of like, I guess, locally famous, and he gets this assignment where he has to go to Ecuador to report on this like rebel coup or something that's taking place. And he and Ricky Gervais, who's his sound engineer, go to head off to Ecuador, but Ricky Gervais, being the numbskull that he is, throws away the plane tickets so they can't go to Ecuador, and they decide to pretend that they're in Ecuador even though they're still in New York.
Oh,
and
man.
They file reports, saying that they're in Ecuador, and even though they're not even there.
Oh my god, it sounds like so many hijinks, like a cavalcade of hijinks.
Yeah, like they're walking down the street and they get a call, and they're like Kevin Pollak plays their boss, and he's like, yeah, I need you to go on right now with an update. And they're like, oh no, we're walking down the street in New York. People can hear like the subway go by and taxis honking their horns and people yelling things. And they're like, we got to come up with an excuse for this. And then, like, Ricky Gervais is making helicopter noises with his mouth. So they're like, oh, there's helicopters. And Ricky Gervais is like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, man, it is so...
Boy. That sounds like a hoot.
It is a hoot.
I love the poster of this. The faces that Ricky Gervais makes on posters and shit just don't make it... Like, who ever makes that face? And what face... Like, what feeling or emotion is he conveying in that? I don't understand this face, what he's doing with his face at all. I don't get it.
I think Eric Bana's face is just the face of him in utter disgust that he agreed to do this movie in the first place.
This sounds so terrible.
Yeah, and of course they end up having to actually go to Ecuador because they end up coming up with this story that they got kidnapped because, that's...
That'll work out. Yeah, that'll work out for you.
And then they realize, like, oh shit, well, when we get rescued, we have to be there for them to rescue us. So they actually go to Ecuador, and then guess what? They get kidnapped.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they get kidnapped.
Shit. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Meanwhile, Eric Bana ends up sleeping with Ricky Gervais's wife, played by Vera Farmiga.
Damn, why'd they put that in there?
Well, he doesn't know. Like, he doesn't know that it's his wife, but she's just this horrible person, and I don't know. It's a shoehorned in love story.
What?
Because then Ricky Gervais ends up kind of falling for Kelly MacDonald, who works at the news station. It's I'm not even going to waste my breath on it. Don't watch it. It's bad. It is bad. I'm now convinced that the reason that Extras and The Office were so successful was due to Stephen Merchant.
Yeah. I'm starting to think.
I'm now convinced that is what's going on.
Because the things that I've seen that he's done on his own compared to what Gervais has done on his own.
Oh yeah.
Merchant stuff is far more enjoyable.
Yeah, that I can't remember the name of the HBO show that he had Stephen Merchant.
I can't either, but
it was great. It was so good.
Yeah. And like what is Gervais doing now? Like what happened?
I don't know. That Derek show was bad.
Well, you have that, and then you have is he doing commercials for Verizon or what? Like, these are the laziest commercials I've ever seen in my life.
Kansas City, the whole Kansas City thing. Oh God.
I just what is happening?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He was big for a minute, but
and then the last Golden Globes that he did was like one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I didn't even watch it, so
terrible.
All right. Let's move on and talk about some predictions. Last week, we predicted Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
You said 82. I said 78. Actual 20.
Damn. Wow.
So the video game curse has not been lifted for Ratchet and Clank.
Didn't quite work out the way we thought it would.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be good. I really did. Keanu, you said 67. I said 70. Actual 75.
All right, good.
So that one's apparently pretty good. And then Mother's Day, you said 48, I said 42, actual 9. Gary Marshall bringing the heat.
Wow.
Another winner for the old Marshall.
Oh, boy. And the funny thing is, well, the sad thing, really, is in 3 more years, he's going to come out with another fucking holiday movie.
We gotta have Father's Day. You can't do Mother's Day and not have Father's Day.
Like for whatever reason, like nothing. He's indestructible. He can't be stopped. He'll come out with another one, and he'll have a shit ton of stars in it.
And I'm guessing. I don't know if these movies make money, but I'm guessing as long as they keep making money, they'll still give him money to make more of them.
I don't see how they make money though.
I don't know.
I've never heard of anyone seeing any of these movies.
No, I don't know.
I think the only people that see them are critics that have to review them.
They go to press screenings, so they probably don't even have to pay anyway.
Exactly.
Next week, we have a big one. Captain America Civil War.
Oh, boy.
Now, there's quite a bit of early buzz about this one. It currently has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, my goodness.
People were saying it's Marvel's best. So
That's what they say about every Marvel movie that comes out.
well, because they keep one-upping themselves.
I don't know about that.
I think the last Captain America was probably the best Marvel movie.
The thing that bothers me is, or the main reason I have no interest in this movie. I'm not a big Captain America fan. I just don't like him as a character. I'm not a big Iron Man fan to begin with, but also at the same time, I'm just sick and tired of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Like, he's been around forever, and I need it to stop.
Well, this movie may end that chapter. I don't know.
God, I hope so. He's been in so many things. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, he is the Marvel Universe.
He's definitely the one that kickstarted the whole resurgence of the comic book movie thing.
You have all of those, and then he shows up in the Avengers movies, and now he's in the Captain America movie, and it's just, let's retire Downey's Iron Man. Let's stop it.
Well, I think Civil War is going to be great. I'm interested to see what the Joe and Anthony Russo do with it, because this is going to be a much bigger scale. And I mean, these guys, it's interesting. You hire these guys, and previous to I think they did the last one, Winter Soldier. Previous to that, they did like Arrested Development. They did comedy stuff.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that Marvel saw that and we're like, we'll bring these guys on. Bring these guys on to do this. It's just, I don't know.
It's just,
but it worked. But
it's so bizarre to me. I guess just because they've kind of been to whatever Marvel wants is what I would imagine, because they don't really have any clout of their own.
Well, but I think that their voice is there. Like with Favreau's Iron Man movies, you could definitely, at least I feel like I could definitely feel Favreau's influence there. Like
yeah.
But I don't know. I think the real test will be when Taika Waititi does the next Iron Man or Thor movie. Like because those two things, it's like that really has me wondering how that's going to work out.
Oh, it's so unfortunate. I mean, I'm happy because he should get a nice paycheck from it. But
I would love to. I like the idea of him doing a superhero movie, but Thor's not the one that because I don't. He's my least favorite. The Thor movies are my least favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, just ugh.
Not to say that they're not good, but it's just they're not. The stories are not interesting to me.
He's just such a boring superhero.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Civil War. What are you thinking on this one?
I'm thinking 86.
All right. I'll say 89 on that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big hit. I'm excited to see it. Let's see, what else do we have? Mothers and Daughters. Not sure if this is getting a wide release or not. Probably not.
Mothers and Daughters.
We can. I think it's a documentary.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. I was thinking of something else.
Who's in this?
This is the one with Susan Sarandon and Christina Ricci's in it. Selma Blair, Sharon Stone, Courtney Cox.
What? Is this like a long lost movie from the 90s?
It's interwoven stories about what it means to be a mom, which are tied together via single gal, Rigby Gray, a rock photographer who's riding a career high when an unlikely and unexpected pregnancy forces her to turn her lens inward.
See, and you say all of that, and you're like, who would be great? You should probably have like a woman direct this.
I know it's not.
It's a guy.
That's the first thing I thought was, this must be directed, but nope.
And it's his first movie. Like, what?
I love it. It's just like those like gender equality symposiums where it's like all dudes on the panel.
Like, let's talk about abortion with a round table of 37 guys, old white men, 65 years old and older. Oh, Jesus.
Let's see. Mothers and Daughters, I'll say, man, I have no idea. 56.
It's 44.
That's pretty much it. Limited release next week. Let's see. We have a horror movie called Bite that looks pretty gross. How to Plan an Orgy in a Small Town. I saw that at I think I was at South by Southwest, maybe?
Ooh, that was Slam Dance, maybe?
Oh, yeah, maybe it was Slam Dance. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Slam Dance. Not a big fan of that one. It was okay. Ooh, a Steven Seagal movie called Code of Honor. Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Bridgend, which I saw at Tribeca last year. That's actually going to be on Fandor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Fandor exclusive. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but wasn't a big fan. Let's see. That's pretty much it. A Bigger Splash comes out on the 4th, apparently. Well, that's the one with Tilda Swinton, I believe, and Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, and Sean Arts.
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes. Yeah. It's from the director of I Am Love.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I heard that it's terrible, but yet it has an 85%, so that's odd.
It looks bad. I've seen trailers for it a few times. It's like a crazy swap.
It's like a partner swap. Young couple and an old couple. They get rejuvenated by the young couple. You've never seen that before.
Yeah.
And there's also Odiard's Deepan.
Yes, that comes out too. Deepan.
It seems like that's been forever since it won Cannes.
Yeah.
Took a good old time releasing that one.
Yeah. Next week on Video on Demand, we have, let's see, Tuesday, Crossing Point, Scherzo Diabolico comes out. That was, I saw that last year at Tribeca as well. That's the one from Antonio Garcia Bogliano, the guy that did Here Comes the Devil, or was it Here Comes the Devil?
I think so.
The one about the kids in the mountain, that one that you didn't like. And then he also did Late Phases. This one I thought was his best movie yet. I liked it quite a bit.
Okay.
Really messed up movie, but it's worth checking out. Restoration, it's another horror movie. The Best of It, and then Friday we have The Family Fang, The Horde, which is another horror movie. Bite, and then Bridgend.
Right.
So yeah, decent amount to choose from next week. I'll probably be checking out The Family Fang. I'll probably check out Bite, maybe Restoration, and I might rewatch Scherzo Diabolico.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so number of things to look out for next week. Blu-ray. This is for Tuesday, May 3rd.
There you go. That is correct week. Good job.
We have The Fifth Wave. That's that young adult one with Chloe Grace Moretz that I heard is terrible. We have Remember. Is that Adam Ogoyan? Is that who did that?
I think so.
The one with Christopher Plummer. We have Emily. That's a horror movie that I would recommend that I saw at Tribeca last year. A lot of Tribeca stuff seems to be popping up.
This is the week.
Yeah. The Choice, which is the Nicholas Sparks one, looks like a Nicholas Sparks movie. Submerged, which I saw. It's a horror thriller, not good. And it looks like it's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Joy is coming out. I don't know if that was already released or not.
What now?
Joy.
Is that the one about the mop?
Yeah.
That mop.
Miracle Mop.
That shitty mop. The worst fucking mop ever.
Yeah.
Fucking shit mop.
There's also a Ted collection, and it's Ted versus Flash Gordon, where it's Ted 2, and then Flash Gordon.
Do you get to see both, or do they mash them up?
Probably not. They have like a mashup cover. That's pretty much it.
Oh, goodness.
What do we have on the Criterion front next week?
Yeah, we got one from 1969, Dennis Hopper's Easy Rider.
Yeah, we should have a review for this up.
Oh, you're gonna
hopefully tomorrow.
You're gonna cover some Easy Rider?
I am, yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's a shitty movie.
I want to see if I still dislike it as much as I did last time.
It's a shit movie.
It's a classic though. It's like I try to force myself to like that movie.
I don't understand why people like it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. That ending shot is pretty badass though. The way they end the movie, pretty fantastic. Everything else is garbage.
Garbage.
Fuck you, Easy Rider.
Easy Rider.
Don't like you at all.
I think more than anything, it's just looked at as far as the influence that it had on the film industry.
Yeah, but it just kind of irritates me because its entire look was done to death. Like the entire decade leading up to when they made it, that's what Eastern European cinema was doing. Like they were doing exactly what. Like Easy Rider just looks like a ripoff of an Eastern European movie. Like the whole look of it.
Yeah.
And that just irritates me for some reason.
Well, we're ignorant Americans that, don't have much exposure to world cinema.
It's just irritating because it's stoners talking. Like, who the fuck wants to listen to stoners talk? Are you serious? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll probably watch it today. So I'll report back. All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson, and we will see you next week.
Wow.